Hello everyone. We are going to solve the questions of maths from IMAT past papers. So basically maths is not as difficult as you guys think of, but it is very easy. I'm gonna make you solve every question with very thorough explanation of every MCQ. So we are beginning with the very first MCQ that definitely starts from 48. You can see the questions on my screen as well. So, what is the solution to the inequality? And then, of course, inequality is given to us. But before going towards an inequality, I would, guys, explain you an equation, an expression, and of course, then we'll come towards an inequality as well. So, let me, guys, explain you the equation first. You guys have must heard it, you know what, every time when you guys solve mathematics, solve this equation, solve that equation. So an equation is nothing but it is very simple. Now let me guys show you what an equation is. Okay, for instance, I have an equation that's 2x plus 1. So an equation is something that has an equal to sign. Okay, so I have just made here an equal to sign, as you can see. Okay, 2x plus 1 is equal to 3, for suppose. So this is basically an equation. There's nothing but it's an equation. Okay, so this is how simple it is. But now what an expression is, let me guys tell you the expression as well. So expression is very simple as well. It is not difficult. So an expression is what? I mean, if you understood this equation, you can just remove an equal to sign from it. For instance, 2x plus 1, or you may write it 2x because it's plus 3 here. When it will move to the left hand side, it will be of negative, so 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So you may either write it 2x minus 2. Okay, so these are what the expressions are. Okay, so expression is nothing but it is without an equal to sign, and an equation is with an equal to sign. So now you must be cleared, okay, with the difference between equation and expression. Now let's move towards an inequality that is given to us in the 48th question, and we are supposed to solve, of course. But what an inequality is, it basically hasn't an equal to sign. It is not without an equal to sign as well. So what an inequality is, it is basically very simple too. So in an inequality is expression with either less than sign, it's basically greater than, this is less than, this is greater than and equal to, and this is less than and equal to. Okay, so expression with these signs, I may write here expression plus any of these signs. Okay, this is what an inequality is. So basically an inequality is given to us so that we can solve that and we can have the solution. Okay, whenever they ask you to find the solution to the system, or find the solution to the equation, find the solution to an inequality, you are supposed to find the values of an unknown variable. Okay, solution of the equation or solution of the inequality is nothing but finding the values of the unknown variable that are given in the equation or your inequalities. So you may see it. So we have basically our inequality, that is under root 2x. Okay, and we have less than 1 plus x. So this basically an inequality is given to us and we are supposed to solve this. Now you must have heard about iota. Okay, if I take this factor, okay, if I take this factor, I'm known that I must not have negative number under this under root. Okay, if I'll have any negative number under this under root, that number will be more than an imaginary. Okay, I'm giving you an example as well. You must have heard about iota, and iota is nothing but it is under root minus 1. So basically negative value is coming under an under root. Okay, this is what an imaginary number is. So we don't have to make it an imaginary number. We don't have to make it an imaginary number. And how we cannot make it an imaginary number? I mean, for making it not an imaginary number, what values can I give to my x? Okay, for suppose if I give it negative 1, okay, if I give it negative 1, 2 minus 1, and it's of course under root, so it would be basically minus 2, and this would be nothing but negative, but it would be under root iota. Okay, so this is what it is, but we don't have to make it imaginary number, of course. So what we'll do, we know that we have to basically give it the domain so that it cannot be negative under the under root. So what we can suppose, this 2x, okay, is basically greater than or equal to 0. It is basically greater than or equal to 0, because if I put any negative value instead of x, okay, it will have negative value under the under root, and it will make it an imaginary number, and we don't have to do it. Okay, so what we are going to do, we'll give it the domain of either 0 or greater than 0 numbers. For instance, if I give it 0, okay, so 2 into 0 is 0, and 0 under root 0 is of course 0 again. Okay, so let's go towards greater numbers than 0. For instance, 1. So 2 into 1 is 1. 2 into 1 is 2, of course. And 2 is under root. So it's of course under root 2. For suppose 2. Let's try it on the 2. 2 into 2 is 4. And 4 under root. Again, it comes out to be 2. Okay, so now I'm getting the positive numbers. So basically, my domain for x would be this. Okay, so now I hope you understand it. Basically, you've got your answer, but we're gonna solve this entire inequality so that you cannot have any confusion. And how we're gonna solve this entire inequality is basically very simple, and this basically checks your basic concepts of maths. Okay, but if you don't know basic concepts of maths, basically you don't have to worry. I'm gonna teach you each and everything. Okay, so basically you have to remove this under root, right? And for removing this under root, you are supposed to take a square on both sides. This is what we do when we have to remove the under root from any number, right? So we are basically going to take square root on both sides. Square root on both sides. For removing the under root, we are going to take the square root on both sides. So basically this square root is cancelled with this square. So it basically is left now 2x is less than. Can you remember something? I mean, can you see here something and it reminds you of something? Of course, yes. It must remind you of something. You must have studied in your very initial classes about a plus b whole square formula. I'm writing here as well that formula so that if you don't remember, but you can definitely see here. So basically we have formula a plus b whole square that equals a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so this is what formula we have. Now we are going to apply this formula here so that we can simplify it, right? So when we're going to apply this formula, basically what we're going to get is very simple. So we have to take a square, okay? Basically, if I write it in the form of x plus 1 whole square, it would not make any difference. So basically a square, so means x square, right? Plus 2ab. So 2 multiplied into x multiplied into 1, which is 2x, plus 1 square is 1. Okay, I've applied the formula basically. So now what we are going to do, I have to take this number to the right hand side now. So what we are going to do is, now 0 is left here, x square plus 2x plus 1 and minus 2x, because that is of plus there. So plus 2x minus 2x is cancelled, and what we are left with is x square plus 1. Okay, so from here you can actually see the values that we're going to give to the x would definitely be all the numbers that are greater than 0 or maybe equal to 0. We have proven this with this simplification as well, right? Basically, initially I gave you the concept of that k under root k. Inside the under root you would never have any negative value. If you have any negative value under an under root, basically it would give you an imaginary number. I gave you guys an example of iota as well. From that concept we actually got that this 2x would definitely be positive, right? The value of x would be positive, or it may be equal to 0 as well, because if you give any negative value to this x, this would gonna make your entire value of negative under this under root. So now let's see the options and let's identify what our answer is. If we see option number 1, that's for all values of x it is greater than or equal to 0. Of course this was our answer, so basically I'm gonna tick it. But option B is saying all the real numbers. Basically, if you see an R in mathematics, this basically represents real number. And real number has negative values as well. So please do not confuse real numbers with your all the positive numbers. I mean non-negative numbers. So your second option can never be your answer. Let's see option number 3. It says for all values of x, it is greater than 0. It's fine, it is greater than 0 of course, but the value of x can be 0 as well. I put it here, right, instead of x. So if I put 0 instead of x, so 2 into 0 is 0, 0 under root 0 is again 0, so 0 is less than 1 plus x, and of course we're going to have again our answer. So basically this satisfied our equation, so third option is again right. D option says empty set. Empty set, by it will have definitely a lot of values, all the non-negative values it will have. And option number E says that for all values of x, x is not equal to 0. No, 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 it would definitely be equal to 0. And basically option number E, if you see in option E, it says x is not equal to 0, which means in this option x contains all the positive values as well and all the negative values too. But we don't have negative values in our answer, okay? So we have 0 and all the values that are greater than 0 would be definitely our answer. I hope this question is clear. If not, you can leave the comment, okay, in the comment section. Okay, let's move towards another question. I know it is taking a lot of your time, but I am trying my best to explain you with a very thorough explanation and very basic concepts. Let's move towards another question, which is 46. Okay, so what our 49th question is, sorry. Which of the following inequality is satisfied for every real value of x? We need to identify the true inequality that is satisfied for all the values of x. I mean, whatever we put the value of x, it satisfied that inequality. Let's start with an option A. It says sine square x plus sine x minus 2 is less than and equal to 2. Is less than equal to 0. Okay, so I'm just going to write here this as it is equation so that we can solve this ahead. Sine square x, okay, and then we have plus sine x minus 2 is less than or equal to 0. So basically this question is very interesting. It's from trigonometry. Okay, so this is not difficult at all, but I'm gonna explain you with the concepts, okay? So don't worry. Okay, so we are supposed to solve this question. What if I do, if I give sine x some variable. For instance, if I put only x instead of sine x, so this would be better, I guess. So if I rewrite my equation, what I basically get, it's sine square x, which means x square. Okay, it's sine x, which means x minus 2 less than and equal to 0. Okay, so this equation basically we have gotten now. Now what we are supposed to do, if I put any angle here, okay, if I put any angle here, for instance 0 degree, 45 degree, 30 degree, 60 degree, or maybe 90 degree, so what values you will have? Okay, basically this is the question trying to ask us. Okay, so what values it gonna have? Basically if I try any angle, for instance 0 degree, 45 degree, 30 degree, 60 degree, or maybe 90 degree, I'll have my value of sine x. The max value of course will be positive one. Okay, it would be the max value, right? And the minimum value of the sine function would be, the minimum value of it would be negative one. Okay, it would be the minimum value. So if I put any of the, degree, any of the number, it will gonna give me the answer in the range of 1 and minus 1 basically. So from here I can draw my conclusion that the value of my x, wait for a while, yes, so the value of my x will be in the range of minus 1 and 1 basically. Okay, so minus 1 and 1 basically. Now we are going to use our this equation, basically the equation that we made very simple. Okay, x square plus x minus 2 is less than equal to 0. Now I have to solve it. Okay, I have to solve it. Let's give it, the values that uh, our domain will have will be between minus 1 and 1. So let me try it with minus 1 first. If I put minus 1 instead of x here, square plus minus 1 minus 2 less than equal to 0. Let's see if it satisfied this inequality. Let's see if this satisfied this inequality. So minus 1 square. If you have any even number, okay, any even number that is in the exponent form, so your base number will be positive. Okay, so plus 1 plus minus minus 1 and minus 2 less than equal to 0. So minus 1 plus 1 cancel, of course. 2 minus 2 is less than and equal to 0. Now ask yourself if this satisfied your inequality. Of course it does. Minus 2 is of course less than 0. It is not equal to 0, of course we know that, but it is less than 0. Okay, it is satisfying the inequality. Now let's check it on 1. Okay, so 1 square plus 1 minus 2 less than equal to 0. Okay, so 1 square is 1 plus 1 minus 2 and less than equal to 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 less than equal to 0. Cancel. 0 is less than or equal to 0. Of course, this satisfies our inequality. So this satisfies our inequality basically. So whatever the value you give to it, that is between minus 1 or 1, okay, you're gonna have the value and you're gonna have your equation or inequality be satisfied. So basically, this is how we found our answer, that of course the option A would be our right answer, because it satisfied the inequality. It satisfied the inequality for every real number. For every real number, whatever real number you give to it, basically it would be satisfying this inequality. Okay, okay. Now let's go towards 15th question. What does Cartesian product of a set A and a set B correspond to? So basically, what Cartesian product is, we must understand that first, right? Afterwards, we'll gonna draw our conclusion, what our answer would be, of course. Let's move towards Cartesian product. So Cartesian product, you might have studied when you have studied sets. It's very interesting topic, right? Sets, when you have studied sets, you might have come across Cartesian product. Cartesian product is nothing. You should understand the set of the Cartesian product first. So Cartesian product is basically the product between set A and set B. Okay. It's the set which contains A comma B. Okay, brackets, small brackets. Cartesian product is always written with small brackets. Okay, and it has basically two numbers which are separated by comma. So those two numbers are represented with A and B here, such that your this A element always belongs to your this A set. Okay, and your this B element always belongs to your this B set enclosed. This is what Cartesian product is. For instance, I can give you guys an example as well. My A set is 2 comma 3, okay, 2 comma 3, and my B set is 3 comma 1. Now let me make the Cartesian product of it, A cross B. So how you gonna make the Cartesian product of it? Round brackets. Okay, your A element belongs to first one, so 2 comma your second element belongs to B set. Okay, so 3, again 2 with this 1 as well, 2 comma 1, again this 3 with 3, 3 with 3, and last but not least 3 with 1, 3 with 1. So if you see your A elements, they basically belong to A set 2 and 3, so 2 and 3, and your B elements, they basically belong to this B set 3 and 1, so 3 1 3 1. So basically this is what Cartesian product is. Now let's go and see what our answer might be. If we read option A, the set of all possible ordered pairs, and I've already explained you what an ordered pair is. It is basically enclosed with a small brackets and two numbers are separated by a comma. Ordered pairs having is the first component. First component, I mean A, belongs to an element of A, and as the second component, an element of B. Of course, this is what we studied just. This is what we were looking for our answer. So basically, this is the right answer. If I see option B, the representation of the intersection set of A and B. What an intersection is, let's see. Intersection, I mean, the two sets are given to us. Now let's find the intersection of these two sets. A intersection B. So intersection is basically you're finding the common numbers between these two sets, common elements. So what common elements can you see between these two sets? 2 is not in B and 3 of course is in B, so 3 is common. So A intersection B is only equal to 3, which is not the Cartesian product, right? Now let's see why our C option is not correct. The representation of the union set of A and B. Now let's see. what this union set is. If I want to find the union between these two sets now, so basically I have to just combine these two sets. Okay, so how we gonna write this? One, of course, in the initial place, and then we have 2. Okay, and then we have 3. 3, we have an A and B both, but you're not gonna write uh 2 3s in a set. Then that would not be a set anymore. You might have studied in theory of set that the elements must not be repeated in the set, and they must be separated by a comma. They must be in the order form. I mean, you cannot write 3 2 1, but 1 2 3. I hope this is clear. Union is clear as well. Then in the fourth option, they are saying set consisting of the products of corresponding numericals elements of A and B. Now, what here they are saying basically? They are saying the product between them actually. So A and B, 2 into 3. The fourth option I'm trying to explain you guys. Okay, so what the fourth option is? They are saying you just need to multiply the corresponding elements. Okay, so corresponding elements, you can see corresponding elements are what? 2 to 3. So 2 into 3 is 6, comma 3 to 1. So 3 into 1 is 3. So this is basically the answer to your fourth option, which is of course not the Cartesian product. And in the last option, they say the representation of the difference between set A and set B. So we are going to just find the difference between these two sets. A minus B is basically A set is 2 comma 3 minus B set is 3 comma 1. 3 comma 1. So you just need to subtract the elements of A that are actually available in the set B as well. For instance, the 3 that is available in set A is available in set B as well. So that will be, of course, subtracted, and the left element you will be, of course, writing, but not the element from B, only the element of A you will be writing. This is what the difference between two sets is. Okay. If they would have asked us to find the uh, symmetric difference between these two sets, and symmetric difference is basically written with this triangle. So what have we done? We just deducted, or we deduct the common elements. For instance, 3 is common, so 3 is deducted. Now we write all the elements that are left in set A and set B. In difference, we just write the elements that are left in the first set, but in symmetric difference, we write all the elements that are left except for the common one. I hope the E option is correct as well. I mean, clear to you as well. Now, the 51st question is the trinomial a square minus 4ab plus 4b square is equal to. Basically, this is very interesting question. I already mentioned in the very beginning of this session that what it is basically, you might have come across these all the formulas. You might not, but you have already come across these all the formulas. And it is not difficult. It is not difficult at all. I'm just trying to explain you the trinomial. Okay, I've just read the question and now I'm gonna write it very soon. They are asking the trinomial that is given to us, which is a square minus 4ab plus 4b square. This is equal to what? This is equal to what? So basically you have come across so many formulas. You have come across so many formulas. The initial formula that I mentioned was a plus b whole square, right? That's equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay. And the next formula that you study is a minus b whole square. That's basically a square minus 2ab plus b square. There is no much difference between these two things, but here the second 2ab is of positive and here it is of negative, and you see negative sign between these a and b. And the third formula that you study is a square minus b square. That is always equal to a plus b, okay, and a minus b. So these three formulas are very, very, very common. You must be known, whether you are math student or not, you must be known these three formulas. So basically, if I see this my question, something comes in my mind. It reminds me of something. Of what formula? Of this formula. So of course I can enclose this entire thing in this formula. Okay, I can enclose this entire thing in this formula. So a square is basically same written, right? So I can write it a, okay, minus, if I write here 2b whole square, okay, if I try to solve it again with this formula, a square minus 2ab plus b square minus 2ab plus b square. So how we gonna write? This is our a value, so a square minus 2, a value is again a, and b value is 2b. So 2b plus, and b value is again is 2b. 2b whole square, right? So a square minus 2 2s are 4, right? So minus 4 ab plus 2 2s are 4 and b square. So this is what we are getting, and they ask us this is equal to what? So this is basically equal to this one. Okay, so this is basically equal to this one. So if I now move towards my answers, basically my first option is the correct answer. Now if we go to solve 52nd question, 52nd question, in a rectangle ABCD, the base AB is 5/4 of the height BC and the perimeter is 72 centimeter. What is the dimension of the rectangle? Okay, this is basically again very, very simple question. This is basically entire is very basic maths, okay, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's start solving this. So basically they are telling us that we have a rectangle, okay, and you know that rectangle two sides are equal and these two sides are equal, okay. They are saying the height of it is something, okay, and the base is 5/4 of this something, of this x, right? Then now they have given us the parameter as well. They have given us the parameter as well, and parameter they have given of 72 centimeter, and they are asking us to find these dimensions basically. This is very simple question. By the help of parameter formula you can definitely find the dimensions, right? So parameter is nothing but it is sum of all the sides. I mean, if you have a triangle and its sides are a b c, so basically its parameter would be a plus b plus c, okay. So parameter is nothing but it is just the sum of all the sides, okay. It's sum of all the sides, and the formula for finding the parameter of the rectangle is 2 into length plus breadth. Basically this is the formula that uh, teachers made us learn, we are making you guys learn, but basically it's the entire same concept, that parameter is nothing but it is sum of all the things, sum of all the sides. So when you sum all these sides, I mean you have two heights, so I've written 2, right? You have two bases, so 2, basically 2L plus 2 base. This is what I'm trying to explain you. 2 you have lengths and 2 you have base, so it's basically sum of all the sides, okay. So this is not very difficult. It's not at all. Now we are going to solve it. Basically it is given as 72. Okay, 72, and the length we already have is x, so we are just now substituting the things. Breadth we have 5 by 4 of x is equal to 72. Now see, 2 is multiplying with this entire thing here. When it will go there, it will be divided. Okay, so x square plus 5 by 4 x, 72 divided by 2. See, 72 divided by 2, 7 ones are 7, 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6 basically, and 1 we're gonna give it to 2. It's 12 now, so 2 6 are 12. So basically we have 36 now. So here we have 36. Okay, now we are going to solve it basically. So now you're not going to do it right. X plus 5x is 6x. No, it's not like that. When you don't have something in the denominator, you always consider 1, right? So basically you need to make the denominator of these two things same. The 4 is here, you need to make it 4 as well, so you will basically be multiplying 1 with 4. If you are multiplying something, I mean any number that is in the denominator with any number, you're going to multiply that same number in the numerator as well. So if your denominator 1 is multiplying with 4, your numerator x must be multiplied with 4. So x multiplied by 4 is 4x. You had 5x here, and now your denominator is same basically 4 is equal to 36. Your 4 is dividing here, and when it will gonna move here, it will be multiplied. So basically 36 multiplied by 4. 4 6 are 24. Okay, and 4 3s are, it's 12. 12 plus 2 14, so 144 we have got in here. Now I'm writing here 4x plus 5x is equal to 144, and 4x plus 5x is what? It's 9x is equal to 144. When basically we are going to find the value of the unknown thing, right? So 9 coefficient would when gonna go there and would be divide, would be in the denominator. So 9 ones are 9, 9 ones are 9, 5 is left, 5 is gone here, and basically 9 6 are 54. So x value is now 16. X value is now what? It's 16. So I have found my x value. It's basically 16. Okay, and if I put here my 16 value, 5 by 4, 16, instead of this x, 4 ones are 4, and 4 fours are 16, 5 fours are, it's 20. So I have got basically my dimensions. Dimension means length of the sides. Okay, so one is 16 and another is 20. One is 16 and another is 20. If I see my first option, one is 20, one is 16, yes, this is what the answer I was looking for. So basically we have solved our fifth question as well. Let's go towards the sixth question. I hope the questions are now easy for you. They are not difficult. For which values of a the equation 3x plus a is equal to 3 determined. So basically what you are doing here, you're basically finding the values of a, right? So you need to find the values of a here, all the possible values for a. So basically 3x, I'm sorry for a while, plus a is equal to 3. Okay, So basically this 3, we are going to find the values of a, right? So whatever the unknown number is, you just need to make it alone. So if I want to make this a alone, so this 3x is of plus, of course. When it will go there, it will be of negative. Okay. What thing can I take common from here? What thing can I take common from here basically? I can take 3 common from here, and then what will be left? 1 minus x. Now see, you need to find the values of a. Now we're gonna look for plug-in answers. What plug-in answers is? You find the answers from the options. Okay, so if I see, if we are not just going with option A first, okay, we are starting from option E. For a is not equal to 0, they are saying a must not be equal to 0. A must not be equal to 0. So if I put any value here, for instance 1, ठीक है, if I put here 1 minus 1, that's 0, and 0 multiplied by 3, a equals 0. So basically this doesn't satisfy it at all. Okay, let's go towards option D. What option D says us? For a is not equal to 3, it must not be equal to 3 as well. Let's see why not. Okay, wait for a while. It must not be equal to 3. So if I put any value here, for instance putting it here 3, or maybe 0, so a is equal to 3 minus 3. Instead of x, now we are putting 0, so 3 into 0 is 0. So a is now 3, which means our D option could not be your answer as well. Okay, a is not equal to minus 3. Now let's see if it actually proves. So basically a is not equal to minus 3. We are just going to prove this now. A is not equal to minus 3. Basically a would be equal to minus 3 as well. When it will be equal to minus 3, let's see that. I'm sorry for a while. 3 minus 3. If I put the value of x, that 3, okay, so a is equal to 3 minus 3 3s are 9, right? A is equal to 3 minus 9, that is minus 6 basically. A comes out to be minus 6. I need to make it minus 3 basically. So let's multiply it with 2 then. Let's take the value of x, that is 2. 3 minus 3, and instead of a we are putting 2 now. 3 minus 3 2s are 6, and it basically now gives us minus 3. 3 minus 6 is minus 3, right? So basically our a is equal to minus 3 as well. For B, for no value of a, no, it can't be answered. It can't be answered at all. And for A option, for any value of a, of course, if you put any value of a, this equation basically satisfied it. Okay, so our A answer is basically the correct answer. Now we are going to solve our very last question, and that's actually very easy as well. Given the equation a plus 3 x is equal to 5, which are the following values of a is impossible. What value of you know what, A will be impossible. We need to check that. Again, we're gonna do it by plugin method. So we are going to put our A option first. A is equal to -3. I mean, if I put -3 here instead of A. So -3 plus 3, okay, multiplied with x is equal to 5. So basically +3 -3, it's 0. And 0 multiplied by x is again 0. And 0 is not equal to 5. It's not satisfying our inequality. Sorry, equation. So basically what value of A is impossible? Of course this -3 value is impossible. I mean, if you put 0 instead of A, so it will again give you some answer. If you put these values of A, they'll give you some possible answers. But if you put -3 instead of A, this equation would not be satisfied with the value of A equals -3. So here we have basically solved all the questions. If you have any question, basically leave the comment in the comment section, and I'll be trying my best to answer your every question in the next video. Now we are going to solve our physics MCQs, and the physics MCQs basically start from question number 55, as you guys can see on my screen. Okay, so we'll start solving physics MCQs now. So the very initial question of ours is two cars A and B are moving in the uniform rectilinear motion with speeds of 120 km and 80 km respectively. If at initial movement A is 500 meters behind B, after 1 minute, what will gonna happen? So basically they have given us the entire scenario. You don't have to take it as a question. You can compare it with our practical real life. Okay, this is physics is all about basically uh, the real situations. Okay, so you can also try it practically as well, if not only theoretically, but here we're gonna solve theoretically. Okay, so if the word respectively is given, you must understand if the word respectively is given, you should know a first one thing belongs to the first one and the second thing belongs to the second one. Okay, if respectively is given, the initial thing belongs to the first one and then the next thing belongs to the next one. You must understand this thing first. So now we are going to create this entire scenario on our screen. So basically we should understand this. Okay, so we are going to create this entire scenario now here. Basically, they are asking us, we have two cars and they have named those two cars as A and B. So I'm going to make two cars here. Basically, this is my car number 1. Okay. And this is my car number 2. Giving it a name of A and giving it as a name of B. Okay. So basically, they have told us this in the question. What other things they have told us in the question are the speeds of the cars, right? So the very initial speed of A is 120 km per hour. So we are just going to write this. Okay, so it has a speed of what? 120 km per hour. Okay, we have written this here. And the second car has the speed of 80 km per hour. So here we have got our 80 km per hour. They are saying if at the initial moment when the cars are going to be start, the A is 500 meters behind B, which means the gap between A and B car is basically 500 meter. The gap between them is what? It is basically 500 meter. A is behind B. A is 500 meters behind B, or the gap between A and B is 500 meters. These two statements are basically very same. Okay, so now after 1 minute, what will gonna happen? Okay, will A be with B, or will A be overtaking the B, or will B be still on the lead? We'll just have to see what will gonna happen after a minute. So basically here comes the concept of relative motion. Now what's relative motion? See, you have seen the speeds of these individual cars, okay? The speed of A is basically 120 kilometer per hour, and the speed of B is basically 80 kilometer per hour. Now we need to see the relative speed. And how we're gonna see the relative speed and what's basically relative speed. Instead of looking on their individual speeds, now you are comparing these two. I mean, how fast the A is, or how slow the B is from A. So you're comparing the two things, the two speeds. This is what basically the relative speed is called. So for finding the relative speed, what we can do, we can subtract the speed of the first one and the speed of the second one. Okay, we can minus speed 1 minus speed 2. So relative speed, basically speed 1 is 120 kilometer per hour, speed 2 is 80 kilometer per hour, and then 120 minus 80 is what? It basically 40 kilometer per hour, which means 40 kilometer per hour. A is 40 kilometer per hour more faster than B. This is what the concept of relative speed is. So relative speed is nothing but it is just the comparison between two speeds, okay? And we have also seen that how relative speed could be found. It is basically speed 1 minus speed 2, which you have already seen now. So 120 minus 80 is basically what we have gotten, 40 kilometer. So speed, I mean the A car is 40 kilometer per hour more faster than what car? Than B car. Now see, what we're going to do is very simple. We basically here 500-meter is given, okay? The distance is given in the meter. The distance is given in the meter, and we have here kilometer. So let's convert that kilometer into meter. I mean 40 kilometer per hour. We are now going to convert that into meter per second. So kilometer per hour is now going to be converted into meter per second, okay? So basically 1 kilometer has 1,000 meters, and 1 hour has how many seconds? Basically you can multiply, um you know what, how many seconds does a hour have? Hour has 60 minutes, okay, and every minute has 60 seconds. So 60 into 60 is 3,600. 3,600 basically you have gotten here. Now you just need to do what? You just need to simplify it. And simplification is very easy thing that I really like it. Okay. So basically this 0 is cancelled with this 0 cancelled with this 0. And then what else can be happened? Let's see. I mean 4 ones are 4 and 0 comes here, and 4 basically 9s are. Okay, so what's remaining here? 10 into 10 upon 9. So this basically is 100 upon 9. And this basically comes out to be then 11.1. Okay, 11.1 in what? In meter per second. They are asking what would happen after 1 minute. And 1 minute has basically what? 60 seconds. Okay. So I can multiply this entire factor with 60 seconds, right? So 11.1 multiplied by 60, and what we're gonna get is again very interesting, 666. Basically meters, right? Meters. How meters? Because this was I'm sorry. This was already in meter per second, okay, and this was second. So second cancel with second, and unit we are left with is what, meter. Okay, so 660 meter. Now see, now see that, I'm sorry for a while. Basically now the A will have covered the distance of 666 meters. So now our A car would basically be ahead of B car, because it will have covered 660 meters, 666 meters, and it was behind 500 meters. So 666 minus 500, we are left with 166. So basically A is 166 meters ahead of B. So let's see our options now. Option A says A has overtaken B. Of course, A has overtaken B. A is ahead of B, which means our A answer is right. Our A answer is right. Okay, this was very simple. I know it wasn't rocket science at all, for you guys at least. Now let's go towards our next question. Question number 56. Okay, it's again very interesting. An electric circuit consists of 100 branches connected in a parallel. Each branch has 10 resistors in series, each with a value of R. What is the equivalent resistance? Basically, they are asking us to find the equivalent resistance. Basically, what resistor is? Resistor opposes the current flow. I mean, if the current is flowing, there would be an obstacle which will gonna oppose that current, and that obstacle is what we call a resistor. So I hope now you have a very basic idea of resistor. And in the resistance what happened basically, wait in the resistance what happened basically, we have two scenarios. One is for series, okay, and another one is for parallel. See, if you want to find the total resistance or equivalent resistance in the series is what basically? Series is a single path that has so many resistors into it. For instance, one resistor, second resistor, third resistor. So basically, if the current is flowing from left to right, means from here to here, so basically the current has to go through each of this resistor, which means here in the series, the equivalent resistance would be basically effect of the all the resistors, right? So R1 plus R2 up to so on, how many resistors are there. So you just have to add those all resistors in order to find your equivalent resistance in the series. But what if you have to find the equivalent resistance in the parallel? Now what happened in parallel, basically the paths are divided, okay. So basically this is our R1, this is our R2. So these are resistors, right? Resistors are divided in the path. So of course their effect will be different as well. So if you want to find equivalent resistance in parallel, in parallel, then that would be inverse of the resistance. So 1 upon R, 1 upon R2, and of course so on until 1 upon Rn. So I hope now you have gotten very basic concept of series and parallel resistance. Now let's go towards our question and let's read it very finely so that we can solve it, right? Okay. So basically, what are they asking us to do? Each branch has 10. Okay. Basically, they are saying they have 100 branches, which means 100 resistors, and each has the value of 10. each has the value of 10. Okay, so this question is now very easy for us. Each has the value of 10, which means here I have 10. Okay, here I have 10. So basically this would be continued until 100th one, right? Until 100th one, because they have 100 branches. So every effect will be combined, of course, in the parallel, because they have mentioned that in parallel they have 100 branches. Okay, so 100 branches means 100 resistors are there, and each has the value of 10. So basically we had the formula 1 upon r plus 1 upon r2. So each has the value of 10, and of course it would be continued until 100th. So basically I have to add 1 by 10 100 times, which means I can multiply it by 100 times, right? Basically what you do, if you want to add 2 to 2, I mean 3 times you are adding it, so you can definitely multiply 3 by 2. This is what you guys do, right? So 1 by 10 into 100, this is very simple. Now we are finding equivalent resistance, and that is 1 by r. Basically 1 by equivalent resistance is equal to 1 by 10. Okay, so 0 cancel with this 0, and then we are left with 10 upon, I can basically write here r as well, because we have here r2. They have asked us, basically it has the value of 10r. It has the value of 10r. 10, this is each with the value of r. Okay, so I hope this is clear now. So basically 10 upon r. Now see, we have to find the equivalent resistance only, but here we have found 1 upon r, which means I have to take the reciprocal in order to find the equivalent resistance. Okay, and that would be r by 10. Then just you need to reciprocate it, so r by 10. So basically we have gotten our answer. Let's see. Yes, so this answer is the correct answer, r by 10. I hope this question is clear to you, because it is very simple. It has no rocket science at all. Everything is explained to you in a very basic way. I mean, if you are at 0, still the questions would be very very clear to you, since I'm trying my best to explain you guys with very basic concepts. Okay, question number 57 now. Which of these particles move in a straight horizontal metal wire carrying a current from left to right? This is my personally favorite question. Let's solve it now. Basically they have mentioned about their answer in their question for now. Which of these particles move in a straight horizontal metal? Now see, you already know metal has free electrons, right? I'm making a horizontal metal. This is basically, this is not horizontal metal, I'm sorry. Here I have gotten our horizontal metal, and it has basically free electrons. We already know this, right? This is not a new thing to be explained to you guys. So a metal has basically free electrons. Okay, so here they are talking about the movement. I mean, if you see all the options, they are saying electron moving from right to left, proton moving from right to left. Basically, if they are asking about horizontal metal, so there would be only about the movement of electron, not about proton. Why are we talking about proton? Why have they given the option of proton's movement in the options? So basically, what ever option has the movement of proton, you can cancel that. You can cancel that. This is not our interest basically for now. The electron moving from left to right, and the protons, again in the last option protons movement is discussed. Now we are only left with our two options. Basically the best way to solve MCQs is eliminate the options, eliminate the best options. So basically you have eliminated three options. Now you have 50-50 chances. Now see, A and B. Basically you should know two types of currents. You should know two types of currents. two types of current are there basically. So the first type of current is conventional current, and I know you must have come across these two types when you were younger, okay? But if you have not, I'm telling you here. So we have conventional current and we have electronic current. Conventional current is the basically movement of the electrons. It's basically movement of electron from left, or basically I may say from positive to negative, which means from left to right. Okay, from left to right. Positive to negative direction, which means from left to right. And electronic current is basically the movement of the electron from negative to the positive, which means in the opposite direction. Opposite means what? Right to left, right? Right to left. Now let's see our options. What basically they tell us. I'm sorry for a while. Okay, I'm good to go. They are asking us wire carrying a current from left to right. Okay. So basically we want opposite movement of it now. We want opposite movement of it, and which is definitely from right to left, right? So we have gotten our correct answer, that is only the electrons moving from right to left. See, which of these particles move in a straight horizontal metal wire carrying a current from left to right. So basically only the electrons moving from right to left. I hope this is clear. This is not difficult at all. Let's solve the 58th MCQ now. An astronaut takes a spacewalk at a distance from the Earth's surface equal to 3 times the Earth's radius. What fraction of g corresponds to the acceleration experienced by the astronaut? Again, very simple question, no rocket science at all. We're going to solve it basically. Now see, for solving it, we must understand a few basic things, okay? Few basic things we are supposed to understand here. What's g? This g is basically gravity, okay? This is the force exerted on an object to pull it towards the center of the earth, okay? So basically this is our earth, okay? I should make an earth a bit more big. This is an earth, and this, and here is the point where this g takes us, okay? So basically where do we stand? We stand here, somewhere here, right? Somewhere here we stand, and we experience this g, this normal g, which has a value of 9.8 meter per second square, or you may say 10 meter per second square. Basically I should not write it here because I wanted to make a diagram. Okay, so I'm good to go now. So basically we experience some force that pulls us towards the center of the earth, which is this g, and we know from the center to any point we have the distance, and this distance is what we call r. R is the radius of the earth, right? So basically we are experiencing this gravity on when we are having the distance of the r, okay? This is the distance that we are having, and basically we are experiencing this G. They are saying when you move 3 times the R, when you move basically 3 times the R, which means here 3R, okay? When you move 3R, so basically now you are at the distance R plus 3R, you are 4R away from your Earth, which means gravity would definitely be affected, okay? Now see, gravity is basically 1 by R square. You must have come across this formula. Gravity is directly proportional to the forces between the two objects and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay, so square of the distance between them inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So basically if I have my 2R here, basically how much the gravity would be affected? G is directly proportional to 1 by R and R is now 2. So 2 square is 4. So gravity would be affected or decreased by 4. Okay. So basically when we have 3R, so 1 by 3 square, which means 1 by 9. So gravity is affected by factor 1 by 9. Now we have 4R. Okay. They are asking the gravity at this point. So gravity is again directly proportional to the square of the distance between them, which means 4, and 4 square is 16 basically. So gravity is affected 1 by 16. Okay. So now we are going to see if we have this 1 by 16 in the answer. And of course this we have. So we have gotten our correct answer. Basically physics MCQs are not difficult at all. They are very easy. They are very simple, easy peasy. Okay. Okay, so 59th question. A car with a mass of 2.0 into 10 to the power 3, which means 2000 kilogram, travels in a straight line at a constant speed on a flat road. Its speed is 15 meter per second. At a certain moment t equals 0, it accelerates with a constant acceleration of 2.0 meter per second square in the same direction as the velocity. The constant friction force is 2000 Newton. The forces F1 and F2 exerted by the engine in the first and second segments respectively are. So basically they are asking us about these two forces F1 and F2, and basically they are the forces of engine. They are the forces of engine. So let me make the breakdown of it now. If you read the entire question and you don't understand it, please listen to me. Break down the data that you have. Start writing the data that you have, okay? So basically what is given in the question is actually a car. A car. So I have made my car. I know this doesn't look car at all, but yes, this is my car. Okay. And they have also asked us that it has basically two segments. If I tell you, it has basically two segments. But before going towards the segments, let me read the question again because I can also not remember the question. I have to read and then write. A car with a mass of, okay, mass is given 2.0, mass is given, I should use any other color. So basically mass is given, and that's basically 2.0 into 10 to the power 3 kg, which means 2000 kg. Mass is given. Okay, now what have they asked us more? Let's see that. And it is traveling with a constant speed, and friction is also given. Friction is basically it opposes the motion, right? So friction is here, and friction force is also given to us. friction is given of 2000 Newton. Friction is given to us and that is of 2000 Newton. And let's read the next information. Okay, in the first segment, now I'm breaking it into two segments. Okay, I'm breaking it into two segments, the very initial segment and then the second one segment. So the very initial segment, when it has no acceleration, it is moving at a constant speed. And you already know that when the speed is constant, acceleration is zero. Okay, so if I find net force on it now, MA, right? The formula for finding the force is MA. So mass, whatever the mass is, which is 2000, acceleration is 0, multiplied with 0, the entire factor gets 0. So the force, net force is 0. What we can conclude from here is the friction is 2000 and the external forces on the car is 0. Okay, so the engine force here would be what? The engine force would be here basically be the same as friction force, which is 2000 Newton. This is the reason car is not accelerating, because it is not changing its speed. It's at constant speed, and constant speed means what? Engine is moving to 1000 Newton. Engine is producing the force of 2000 Newton in the forward direction. Okay, and friction is 2000 Newton in the backward direction. These both forces are cancelled, thus the car is moving with a constant speed. Okay, so we have basically gotten our first force of the engine, that is 2000 Newton. Now we are supposed to find the second force of the engine, and that's basically when acceleration is produced. So basically acceleration of 2 meter per second is produced. 2.0 is written over there. So 2 meter per second. Here if I find my net force, so 2 is my acceleration, mass is of 2000. So basically net force comes out to be 4000 Newton. 4000 Newton. Now see, this is the net force and the engine already had 2000 force. So basically 4000 Newton plus 2000 Newton at F2 is what? It is now 6000 Newton. Okay, so the engine already had 2000 Newton force, which was moving in the forward direction. In the forward direction with 2000 Newton. Okay, then it got acceleration of 2, and 2 into 1000 is 4000. Okay, so 4000 plus 2000 is what we got, 6000, which means F1 is 2000 and F2 is 6000, which is given in the first option. We have gotten our answer. So our very last question for today, last but not the least, a stationary liquid exerts on the walls of the container that holds liquid. Liquid is mentioned here. Basically what liquid is, liquid flows, okay, and liquid takes the shape of the container. Whatever you put your liquid in, it basically takes the shape of that container. For instance, I'm putting my liquid in this glass. Basically I should make this glass more wide. Okay, so I'm putting my liquid into it, and it would definitely be taking the size or shape of this container. Not size but shape of this container. Now see, they are asking the molecules of the liquid will exert the force on the walls of the container. And basically when the molecules or particle exerts or collides with the wall of container, they produces pressure. Okay, they produce pressure. Now see, they are asking in what movement they will gonna hit on the wall of the container. Now see, if my particle is here, I'm trying to explain it and I'm trying my best to make you guys visualize this as well. See, this is my particle. This would of course have pressure, or this would exert the force like this, right? And if my particle, it would again exert the force on the wall of the container, which means like this. Okay, and if I have particle here, it would again exert the force on the wall of the container like this. Now if I see my particles are exerting the forces normally or perpendicularly, but perpendicularly, I mean this is 90-degree. Okay, this is 90-degree, this is 90-degree. So force is always perpendicular to the wall at every point. Of course, yes. At surface as well, at the walls, at the side walls as well, they're perpendicular always. Force is in any direction relative to the walls? No, of course not. Force is always parallel to the walls at any point. See, they cannot be parallel. I mean, if it is exerting the force on the surface, it is again parallel to the wall of the container. But if it exerts the force on the side wall, it is not now parallel to the wall of the container, but it is perpendicular to the wall of container. So the forces always would be perpendicular to the wall of the container at every point. So we have completed our physics MCQs as well. I hope you'll not have any question, but if you'll have any question, I'll be definitely be able to answer your every query in the next video. Bye bye.